Hello.
Morning, Hayley. How are you?
Morning, Sam.
Everyone.
Morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to our webinar this morning. I'm delighted to see some, well, quite a lot actually, of Linton customers in the audience today. So good morning all. So today's webinar is all about the illumiFacial. My name's Hayley and I'm the Sales and Marketing Director at Linton Lasers. And this is Dr. Sam Hills, who's the Clinical Director at Linton Lasers. Sam, do you want to say a quick hello? Because those watching on a mobile won't be able to see you until you start talking.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm just here today to help Hayley with the questions. So I think for those of you that haven't done webinars before, there's a little Q&A button down below. So if you can send us any questions that you have, and I'll be monitoring those as we go along so that hopefully we'll be able to answer your questions as we go.
Yes, indeed. I look a little bit dark today. Sorry, let me just do that. That's a bit better, I think. There we go. Okay, lovely. Okay, so today we wanted to introduce you to the concept of illumiFacial. I know there's several people in the audience who are already doing illumiFacial treatments, some people who are thinking about investing in Lynton, and also some people who have never heard of illumiFacial and are just here to learn a little bit more about the treatment and what it is and what it involves. So essentially, the illumiFacial is a skin treatment that you deliver in aesthetic clinic, beauty clinic. It involves the use of Linton professional skincare and also some Linton devices as well. So let's just start by giving you a bit of an introduction to Linton if you've never heard of us before. So we're a British manufacturer. We've been established for over 25 years now. And we do all kinds of different aesthetic technology, so hair removal, tattoo removal, skin rejuvenation, cellulite devices, etc. And we build our devices in Manchester, and then we also act as a distributor for various different leading global companies for sales in the UK as well. We're actually a spin-off company from the University of Manchester. Most of our board of directors are PhD physicists, like the lovely Sam, who's joining us today. And we were a spin-off from that physics department within Manchester Uni 25 years ago. So we've got a real culture of science, no marketing gimmicks, very credible. Our values are integrity, reliability, quality. And this is why a lot of NHS hospitals choose to use our equipment. And I must at this point say a huge thank you to anybody who is in the audience working in the NHS and just the NHS in general. So thank you, NHS. And we were delighted last year to win the Aesthetics Award for Best UK Manufacturer. But what we're talking about today is one specific treatment that we do, which is illumiFacial. And I just wanted to start with a result that we've achieved in our clinic, so that's the Linton Clinic in Cheshire, with someone who's had 4 sessions of Illumi. So I think this is a good starting point because you want to understand, what does this treatment do? Okay, well, the trick is really in the name, or the clue's really in the name, Illumi. It's all about illuminating the skin. And a lot of that comes from removing any discoloration. So vessels, acne and breakouts, pigmentation, sun damage, and just generally improving the collagen, so improving the pore size, improving the texture of the skin. And that's really what illumiFacial is all about. So this is someone that's had 4 treatments with us at Linton, and you can see a fantastic result on the skin there. So, why would you choose illumiFacial? Well, the thing about illumiFacial is it's very good for a variety of different skin conditions and concerns because it's actually it's a facial treatment, but it's a very advanced facial treatment. It uses medical grade light technology and professional skincare, and I'll talk about how we formulated the skincare and the ingredients in the skincare as we go on. But the thing about the treatment is that it has multiple stages, and each stage targets multiple concerns in the skin. So you can remove blackheads during the treatment. You can decongest pores, you can resurface the epidermis, you can improve fibroblast production in the dermis, you can decrease fine lines and wrinkles, get rid of sun damage, age spots, get rid of vessels. So you can see often quite significant results after just one treatment, but we do recommend a course of 3 to 6. And there's a wide array of different concerns that you can actually treat. And what we talk about when we market illumiFacial is we often talk about or use hashtags in our social media like filter-free facial, or no filter needed. And this is because there's so many people out there who they're not at the point where they have a lot of skin laxity or lines and wrinkles, but they do have quite a lot of sort of blemishes and discoloration in their skin, which they're not very happy with, and they're using filters in order to make their skin look as good as possible. And the idea of illumiFacial is that it's like a permanent filter for your skin. So if you have a course of these treatments, the way your skin should look afterwards is really quite flawless in its colour. So you're looking for that kind of, really beautiful airbrushed skin that's all the same colour, a real sign of youthfulness. And that's really quite easy to achieve with illumiFacial. Sam, by the way, if there's any questions you think relevant as I'm going on, then just fire them through. We don't need to, be too structured with this. I'm sure there'll be lots of questions from the audience.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So we talk about, this is a, very much a facial treatment, I guess. But people will often have sun damage in other parts of the body. So the décolleté, backs of the hands, for example. Is it a treatment that you could do in those areas?
Yeah, absolutely you can, and they would really benefit from it. You'd have to adjust your protocol slightly, and that's all discussed in the training and the manuals, but you will definitely see huge improvements on décolletés and hands as well, backs, tops of shoulders, any area.
I would say typically if you're doing off-face treatments, you want to reduce your settings by about 20%. That's a good sort of rule of thumb, I think.
So there's 4 sort of key stages within an illumiFacial treatment. There's a very, very thorough cleanse to start off with, and then we follow that with a Trifruit acid peel. So we're going to be using a 20% acid peel on the skin that's designed specifically to then be followed with a light-based technology. And that is then our Dynamic Reflex Technology. So this is essentially Linton IPL, but it's delivered through Dynamic Reflex. And I'm going to go on and explain exactly what that means. Many of you will be using Dynamic Reflex at the moment and perhaps don't even know it. So we'll explain that and really get into the crux of why that's different to other forms of IPL in the marketplace. And then we're going to then finish the treatment by hydrating and protecting the skin with some really great skin products. Now, from a commercial perspective, the illumiFacial is a very, very good investment. If you are using a Linton IPL, then you definitely want to do illumiFacial, okay? And if you're thinking of investing in a Linton IPL, you definitely want to bolt on these skin products to it. Why is this a good treatment from a commercial point of view? Okay, you've got essentially one treatment which treats a really wide array of conditions. What can be quite difficult is having so many different things to put on the treatment menu. With illumiFacial, you can market one treatment, so you can get some really good brand awareness of illumiFacial with your audience. So you're kind of putting out consistency in your messaging, which is a really key thing for engaging customers. But then you can turn that content to appeal to lots of different people. So you can talk about illumiFacial, but tweak a social media post to have it be focused on acne. You can tweak it to focus on pigment, sun damage, on vascular lesions, on wanting an airbrushed skin, a filter-free skin. So loads of different ways to sort of repurpose the content when you're marketing this treatment. And it's also solving an awful lot of clients' problems. So you'll have clients in your business at the moment who maybe are having tattoo removal, they're having hair removal, they're having injectables, and there's very few people that actually wouldn't benefit from an illumiFacial. So in terms of having one thing to put on your menu, which you can then cross-sell to almost anybody that walks into the business is brilliant. This is a brilliant treatment for someone who is younger and doesn't have good, even skin tone. It's a brilliant treatment for someone who's a little bit older, they've got some fine lines and wrinkles, and they've got some of that discoloration. Great treatment for breakouts, like we said, through to anti-aging. So it's really a good problem solver, you know, and that makes it very, very sellable from a commercial perspective. You know, there'll be opportunity to sell this treatment to such a wide variety of people that come into your business. And that makes it easier for you because you've not got, you know, 10 different treatments that you're marketing to all different people. It's one treatment, so you really get that consistency, like I said, in the branding. The other commercial benefit of illumiFacial is that almost all but one of the products that you actually use in the treatment, you can then retail to your customer at the end of the treatment as well. So, for example, you would cleanse the skin in the professional treatment with this size cleanser, the Linton facial cleanser. And then at the end of the Illumi, you'd be able to retail a retail size of it. Same for the light Soothe, a stem cell serum that we have, and the sunscreen as well. So you can retail a whole pack and call it an Illumi pack for somebody. Quite a lot of our existing customers are actually giving away the 4 products if someone books a course of 6 treatments. So it's a really nice way to back up their support their treatment at home whilst giving you an extra revenue source as well with the retail products. It's a really nice, attractive consumer brand. So we've done all the branding, you know, really worked around the consumer. So it really appeals to them. Language is nice and simple, nice and easy when we use it. And we've got lots of marketing content that you can use to repurpose for your audience as well. Now, the other thing it does is obviously maximize the return on your investment as well. So if you have invested in a Linton IPL and you maybe at this point are marketing your services as hair removal, vascular, pigmentation, rejuvenation, this is a treatment which is just a lot more easy to sort of market on your website. It's something which allows you to just maximize the investment from your IPL. Those people who've got excessive thread vessels might come in usually and have just an area treated, which might limit their spend. But I guarantee their whole skin would actually benefit from Illumi, and you can still spot treat those individual vessels. So you can upsell and upgrade and maximize the revenue from your device by getting everyone onto courses of Illumi rather than just spot treating individual areas, because their whole skin is going to benefit from Illumi. It is very preventative in terms of aging. So there's no reason why somebody couldn't have 3-4 Illumis every year, just consistently and continuously. So I'll just go into the actual treatment now and talk about, first of all, the first step, which is our cleanser. And our cleanser is a part of the Linton Skincare range. And I just thought I'd quickly give you some background on our skincare range, because I mean, we are experts in devices, in manufacturing equipment. You know, up until 5 years ago, we certainly were not experts in skincare. But we were actually approached by a formulation chemist called Bruce Green, who had developed let me tell you a bit about Bruce Green. Okay, so he's a chartered chemist. He's got over 40 years of formulation experience. Okay, almost 70% of NHS hospitals use products that this chap has formulated. He is a hugely successful product formulator. He's formulated products for Prince Charles, for L'Oreal, Aveda, for Avon. He's won numerous awards. He's been listed on the Sunday Telegraph, you know, Inventor of the Year awards. So he's very, very, very good at what he does. He's an excellent skincare formulator. And he formulated a product which turned into our Light Soothe, which he'd actually formulated for post-tattoo removal, something that would reduce the instance of adverse effects, that would cool and soothe and calm the skin, and could be applied immediately after tattoo removal. And he wanted to work with a laser company. So he's got this real ability to kind of find niches in markets, and he sort of saw this niche, a specialist laser and IPL skincare line to support treatments on the field. So he approached Lynton. So he sort of, looked at the market and decided Lynton was the company that he'd like to bring this product to market with him. And so we formulated photoceuticals together, and Bruce has formulated our skincare products for us with the feedback from ourselves at Lynton, from our customer base, and from the wider aesthetic community as well. So we have this amazing range of products by Bruce Green, and that means that, the facial cleanser that we have here, often he's got, these years and years of experience with different formulations that he can then, take what we need, what we're advising we need as the best thing to go alongside our treatment, and he can tweak his formulations and make them, absolutely spot on for what we're looking for. And this cleanser is exactly that. Like, this is the most effective skin cleanser I've ever worked with in the professional environment, and I've had many years working for skincare companies in the aesthetics industry for a long time now, working with lots of different brands and actually using just a lot of different brands on my own skin. And the reason that this cleanser is so good in the professional environment is that it completely removes anything from the skin. So in terms of what is the job to be done, clean the skin, this cleanser does it. Actually based on a formulation that he designed for people suffering from vitiligo who are using camouflage makeup. So this is the kind of makeup which is, designed to sit on the skin for 3 to 7 days, not a 16-hour makeup, like a 7-day camouflage concealer for somebody suffering from vitiligo. And of course, they can't be regularly using something that is a harsh degreaser that can be, affecting the lipid barrier of the skin and breaking that down. So he had to come up with quite a unique formulation to be able to really thoroughly remove product. And that's exactly what we wanted in the professional environment as well, because we're going to follow this with quite a lot of advanced things. We don't need this to be an exfoliator. What we need it to do is really clean the skin and to make sure that the skin is left in a very, very, very healthy position for the rest of the things that we're going to apply to it. And we need to make sure that it's left hydrated and calm and not irritated in any way, but still getting that really, really, really deep clean. And so the Linton cleanser, if you haven't used this, please, please try it. It is an amazing cleanser. It thoroughly removes makeup. It's completely safe to use around the eye area. It's not greasy, it's not drying. You do need to remove it with wipes, a mitt, or cotton at home. So it's a wipe off rather than a wash off product. Although you can, if you're in the shower, you can wash it off. But I find it wipes off much more easily. And the key ingredient in here is called isododecane. And the way that this works is it's quite a large molecular size. It's what we call like quite a sticky molecule. So as it rolls over the skin, it will actually pick up the dirt and the grease. It won't push that into the pores. It will stick to it and lift it away from the skin without causing any stripping of that natural barrier in the skin. So it will collect all of that makeup, and then you're able to just wipe that away. And it does have obviously other ingredients in it, as you can see here, glycerin, very good humectants and hydrators, but primarily this is a product to just clean the skin. Now, for those of you who are looking at retailing products at the moment, I guess the USP of this cleanser is that you can just wipe it off. So if people are washing their hands excessively at the moment and then don't want to also be doing that twice a day as they're cleansing, then this is a way to clean your skin without actually exposing your hands to water. I know for eczema sufferers, this could be really helpful, really useful, and just people with very dry, chapped hands at the moment, to get that really thorough clean without needing to use water could be quite an advantage for people at this time. So worth bearing in mind if you're doing any virtual consultations or discussing this product online.
We've got a question, Hayley.
Sure.
Someone has asked, can we use the products without using an IPL? So if you don't have an IPL
Absolutely.
system.
Yeah. So you can use all of these products, whether you're a Linton customer or not. You can order and use these products. If you're using a different IPL, then you can use these products. Absolutely. The only thing that you can't do is market illumiFacial. So if you want to market the term illumiFacial, then that has to follow the medically approved protocols that we have for illumiFacial. So you wouldn't be able to combine it with another IPL system and call it Illumi, but there's no reason why you can't use this professional cleanser in your environment. And if anyone is using other IPLs or lasers at the moment, I'm going to go on and talk about some really good products that you use post laser and post IPL, and they're very, very good for retailing as well. So we've got one that's a replacement for aloe vera. We've got a really cost-effective sunscreen. So it's definitely worth, if you're not using Linton IPL or not thinking about introducing Linton IPL, looking at our skincare range as well.
We've got a nice comment here from Tina about the cleanser, and she says she really loves it because it seems to glide the makeup off without the usual rubbing that you need to do. It comes off very easily.
The formulation is quite unique, and I find this a lot with Bruce's formulations. Our formulations, they're really amazing. You know, the way it does literally just glide over the skin, and I wear a lot of mascara, as you can probably see, and it is waterproof, and honestly just no water at all, and I just literally swirl it and you don't feel like you're pulling at all, and you just wipe it away. It's a brilliant, you must give it a try.
Tina's also asked about what's the difference between, is it medically graded? What's the difference between medically graded skincare?
Yeah, okay, so when I said medically graded earlier about the treatment, I am referring specifically to Linton IPL. So we consider Linton IPL to be medical graded for a variety of different reasons, but the most important one really is that it can treat non-cosmetic concerns. So our IPL systems are used in hospitals to treat things that would be considered more medical concern rather than a cosmetic concern, like by a dermatologist. We have products that are medically CE marked, so we're a medical device, regulated medical device manufacturer. So there are different sort of standards, I guess, that mean you can refer to your product as being medical grade.
And you mentioned the protocols as well. So all of our protocols have been signed off by an expert medical practitioner, haven't they? Medical protocols.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I wouldn't say it's medical grade skincare. There's nothing to suggest that, but it is used in the NHS. So we've got a number of NHS hospitals that do use it alongside their Linton laser treatments. We've been donating some recently as well, so we're hoping to get some selfies through from people in the NHS who've been using the Light Soothe, because I'll talk about the Light Soothe shortly, but it's very good for drying chapped hands with a lot of washing. So we're hoping to see some really nice selfies of NHS people using some Light Soothe soon coming through. Is that okay? Shall I continue?
Yeah, good. Carry on. Yeah.
Okay. The next step in the treatment then, so you start your treatment with a double cleanse with the Linton cleanser, and the next step is then to do your Trifruit acid peel. So the Trifruit acid peel is, people have been asking us for years, can I combine a peel in an IPL treatment? And until we had this product, we always had to say, well, check the manufacturer's guidelines. It really depends on the pH, it depends on the percentage of the acid, etc. So we're absolutely delighted to have something that we can say 100% this peel is safe to use alongside your Linton laser and IPL treatments. But why? Why would you want to peel and then do a light-based treatment? Well, it's because of the fact that if you have a build-up of dead skin cells on the surface of the skin, and then you apply a light from a laser or an IPL, often what can happen is little pockets of air between those cells can actually reflect the light off the skin. So rather than the light being able to really penetrate, you get a lot of just reflection off the skin surface. So actually removing that layer of dead skin cells means that you maximize the amount of light that you get into the tissue. And that just means that you're going to get better results out of your device. So we then apply a peel. It's a pH 3, 20%, mostly AHA, although there is a little bit of salicylic acid in here. AHA means alpha hydroxy acid, and salicylic acid is a beta hydroxy acid. And that just means they're different size molecules. They interact with the skin slightly differently. But we're using fruit acids in this peel. 20% is pretty mild. You wouldn't want to use anything stronger than that in a treatment where you're combining it with what we're going to do for the rest of the treatment. So, you know, going on to do our IPL and dynamic reflex. So we use glycolic, we use malic, and we use tartaric acid. And the purpose of this peel is really multifold. So this is a brilliant exfoliant for people with melia and blackheads, congested pores, breakouts. You know, this is salicylic acid is a brilliant anti-inflammatory agent. It's antibacterial. You got real nice deep cleaning effect with the acids exfoliating through dirt and debris in the blackheads. It's resurfacing, so it will cause cell renewal, actually dissolving skin cells on the very surface of the skin, giving a fresher, brighter, more luminous appearance. Will help to reduce the appearance of pigmentation and sun damage in the skin. So you get a really nice retexturing with this particular product. And it does contain other ingredients like humectants to try and keep the skin nice and hydrated as we perform this peel, and things like allotonin and nice conditioning agent as well. So the peel will go on for anywhere between 3 and 10 minutes, and we have a full like we referenced earlier, medical protocol signed off and written for this treatment. So for those of you doing this treatment, we can send a full protocol guidance which tells you exactly how long the peel should be on, in what stages, how to remove it, how to apply it, etc. But that's the peel section then of the illumiFacial. And we've got
a couple of questions, if
Sure.
we can, about peels. So one of them is, can the peel be used on all skin types?
Yes, it can. You, in terms of skin colours, yes. So skin types 1 to 6. Obviously, if you've got a very sensitised skin, a peel may be over-sensitising for them. So the skin needs to be in a condition where the barrier is in pretty good condition. If you're not sure, test patch. So just apply a very small amount onto an area of skin and leave that on maybe for the 3 minutes, remove it, send your customer away, and check that over the next week they don't have any overly sensitizing symptoms.
And if somebody wanted to do the peel treatments without the IPL, could you do that? And how often would you do those peel?
So we say every 30 days, so once a month you can do the peel, and you could combine it with other treatments as well. So we always advise, if it's something like, I don't know if you've got a radio frequency or if you've got HIFU or something like that, it's worth always checking with your manufacturers. But it's a really versatile product. It is quite low. So if you've got someone where you want low in terms of percentage, so if you've got someone where you're trying to tackle melasma on a darker skin, this isn't the peel for you. Okay, if you're trying to tackle acne to an extent, yes. Pigment to an extent, yes, but this is like a combination peel. Okay, so if you're looking to bring peels into your business, you might be better going for a specific peel line, to be honest with you. But if you're looking for something that will be a nice flexible product that you can combine into your treatments with lots of other things, this is perfect.
Can you do this illumiFacial, Leanne has asked, with these products and then use different skincare afterwards? So she uses ZO Health skincare products. Is that okay?
Not entirely sure. Do you mean in the same treatment, or do you mean as home
I think
care?
it's just standard home care.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, they don't have to be using the Linton Skincare at home. Obviously, we would love them to, but you will, of course, get clients who are addicted to some other skincare lines that they absolutely love. But they'll still benefit from having Illumi treatments in the business. So yeah, for sure, you can do that.
Helen's put a nice comment here. She says, I offer the treatment without the IPL when clients have got a tan and they can't have IPL treatment, and they really like that. So
Good
she
idea,
can continue doing treatments throughout the summer months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, sorry, one more that I nearly missed. About fragrance. It says it's fragrance free, but some of the products like the Light Soothe contain fragrance. The Light Soothe doesn't have fragrance, do they? Some of the ingredients in it have a slight fragrance, but there's no added perfume to that particular product.
Okay, so Dynamic Reflex Technology then. So this, for those of you using Lynton, you might be thinking, what on earth is this? I've not heard of this before. So, you know, we've been busy sort of working away at Lynton and thinking about, I guess, the direction of our marketing over the next couple of years. And, you know, we know we've got something special with a Lynton IPL. You know, there's a reason dermatologists and doctors and NHS hospitals use it. There's a reason that we get such amazing results with it. And so we wanted to really dig into the science behind what makes a Linton IPL so unique. And we've done that with our PhDs who designed and built this technology. And we've simplified it into a phrase, dynamic reflex. Okay, so Linton IPL is delivered with dynamic reflex technology. And I'll explain what that is. It's a bit of a meaty subject, this, so we might do a separate webinar on dynamic reflex, but it's all about the way that we deliver IPL light. Okay, it maximizes the efficiency of the light, so you can get above and beyond expected results on really, really tricky things in the skin. So we use 2 IPL handpieces on most of our devices at Lynton, and they have 2 different wavelengths. So we have a 650 nanometer wavelength and a 585 nanometer wavelength. So essentially, they're handpieces emitting light, they're different colors of light, and they help to get rid of different things in the skin or improve different things in the skin. Okay, so the IPL handpieces look like this. You can see one here. You can see our little light guide on the end there, and they're interchangeable. And this one is the 585 handpiece, and we have a different one for the 650. So the illumiFacial protocol includes either or 650 or 585. They both have slightly different effects on the skin. The 650 nanometer handpiece is great for collagen, so it's all about texture and fine lines in the skin. And then the 585 handpiece is absolutely amazing for vascular lesions, so little thread vessels, Campbell de Morgan's got spots, rosacea, just general redness in the skin, pigment, sun damage and freckles, amazing, and then acne as well. So in both of those handpieces, we use dynamic reflex to deliver our IPL light. And what this essentially refers to is the way that we deliver the light onto the skin. And like I said, I'll do a much more detailed webinar on this for those of you using this technology and want to start marketing it. But you've got essentially, with most IPLs, they can treat the easy stuff. Okay, you can get a light that's emitted onto the skin that on a light skin color with a dark hair, you'll get a good result. What is really tricky is when the hair gets really, really thin and fine and light. And with reference to Illumi, it's when you get vessels that are really, really thin and you get very pale sunspots. These are a lot more tricky to treat, and we find our feedback from the field is that hands down Linton IPLs improve the appearance of these things way above any of the other IPL systems that we see on the market. And we know that really from, you know, 20 years of designing and building and manufacturing these devices, we know these results are absolutely amazing. We've got lots of clinical papers to back up the effectiveness of our lasers and IPLs. And the reason for that is because we don't just concentrate on the fluence. So the fluence is like your energy. We're not just concentrating on that. We really have perfected the art of pulse durations, pulse timings with fluence to deliver our light in the most effective way. So a red vein, if you look at this little chart here, a red vein needs an extremely high energy and a really short pulse. And that is hard to do. That is really tricky to get an IPL to do that, whilst at the same time being able to do a long pulse with high energy, a long pulse with low energy, a short pulse with low energy. Okay, so it's the flexibility that you get from a Linton IPL is highly effective. We can actually achieve, with systems that deliver dynamic reflex, a sub-millisecond pulse. Okay, so a pulse that's actually shorter than a millisecond. And it's that kind of pulse that you need to get rid of a really, really thin vein. And it's that kind of pulse that you would need in order to really effectively manipulate to treat pigment. So that's probably as much as we can afford to go into today in terms of time, but I hope that gives you a bit of an idea as to what dynamic reflex is and how it works. If you're interested to learn more, then I will be doing future webinars on what makes Linton IPL difference and really going into that in an awful lot more detail. But essentially, it's about the flexibility that you give yourself in the treatment room at being able to treat really tricky, difficult things. Like rosacea is so tricky because the vessels are incredibly thin. You know, they use our IPLs in hospitals to do port wine stains and to do rosacea because you've got really tricky vascular, what's the word, Sam? Matrix in the skin? Vascular, the way the vessels are laid down in the skin is really difficult or advanced. Is that fair to say?
With rosacea?
Yeah.
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 It's difficult, very. I think the difficulty with rosacea as well is that the fact that the vessels are so tiny, so they've got very short thermal relaxation time. So you need those really, really short pulse durations to be able to get them.
Yeah. Okay. So
we've got a few questions. Is now a good time to just take some of these questions?
Sure.
Right. There's some questions on costs, which I think we're going to go into shortly.
Yep.
We'll
come back to cost.
Anna said that she offers a hand treatment and it works really well. Thank you for that. A few questions about patch testing, which I think we're going to come on to actually, the way in which we do the treatment. Okay. And there's also a question about what training you need for this.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've written those down. I think we'll come to them at the end if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll have a few more kind of clinical questions as we go through.
Yeah. Okay, and just combination about combining with other treatments. So digital skin needling, would you use the peel with that?
I'd just check with the needle manufacturer. If they're okay with it, we're okay with it.
And light fusion. You familiar with light fusion?
That plasma?
I'm familiar with. I'm not sure. Janice, if you could let us know what the light fusion is. Is it LED? Is it? Let us know. It's always worth, I think, as Hayley said, speaking to the manufacturers or the suppliers, and they might be able to give you some advice on what's suitable for use with their particular equipment or products. Okay.
Okay. So the way that you would actually deliver then the IPL section of the illumiFacial is you would apply gel onto the skin and you would use typically your 650 handpiece first, and you would use that all over with your medium block. So that looks like this. So you gel up area by area and you just work over the skin applying the light. And that gives you a really good overall light that will help to stimulate the fibroblast cells, that will help to reduce acne, that will help to improve fine lines and wrinkles, etc. And then we moved to the 585 handpiece. You can use this one all over the skin, but you wouldn't do that if you'd already done the 650 everywhere. Okay, if you only have a 585 handpiece, then you can do it all over the skin and then spot treat with this small light guide. But if you've already done 650 everywhere, you wouldn't then do 585 all over the face. Okay, what you can do is 650 all over the face. So that's like all the collagen. And then this one is going to mop up any of that colour damage. So this is a fantastic little light guide because it really gets into the nooks and crannies around the skin, nice circular shape as well. So this one you would then use to just spot treat. So where you've got individual sunspots, we'll show you some more really good pictures, before and after pictures of these being treated in a second. Where you've got vessels, vascular lesions, you then treat them with your 585 handpiece.
And Kay has asked a question which I think you've answered, which is if you only have the 585 handpiece, or if someone has an awful lot, if they have mild rosacea or lots of sun damage, you can do a 585 all over the whole face.
Yes.
She's also asked about patch testing. Would we patch test?
Yeah, so all of the illumiFacial does need patch testing, so you would patch test as normal, as if you were treating an IPL customer. And yes, if you've just got the 585 handpiece, then you can do full face. And I mean, even if you've got both, you know, you'll be doing a thorough consultation with somebody and working out what are their needs. You know, if you have a skin which is, you know, in their very early 20s and you don't feel that they necessarily need the 650, what they've really got is you know, advanced vascular lesions, probably unlikely in someone in their 20s, but maybe breakouts, then you might want to do a full face acne treatment with the 585. So there's lots of flexibility in the protocol. That's the beauty of it. You can mix and match and work out what's best for the skin. And of course, we're always on hand at Lynton. Just email us at clinical@linton.co.uk with any cases that you're not sure about, if you want us to just have a look at them and advise on the best settings to use. But it's pretty flexible. You can play around with them depending on what that skin really needs.
Janice has got back to us regarding light fusion, and it is an LED device.
Okay.
And she does use it post IPL, a week after an IPL treatment. So I think it'd be absolutely fine to do it after, you know, a week after an Illumi treatment. It'd be perfect.
Definitely, yeah. And you could use the peel followed by the LED in succession as well.
Yeah, yeah. Helen has asked a question. Would you avoid a double pass with the 585 if you've already treated with the 650?
Yes, I probably would, but I'm not the most experienced user in the Linton team. So let me ask that back to you, Sam. And see what you...
I think so. I think once you've done a pass with the 650, you probably want to avoid a double pass on there. But you will get, having done that 650 pass will enable you to pick up those vascular lesions and that pigment more easily than it would if you hadn't done that. So, you know, you shouldn't really need to double pass, I wouldn't have thought.
I always think double passing is like when you've been doing treatments for years and you're really confident, then you know when and when not to. Yeah,
and you know, small little individual lesions maybe, but certainly not, you know, over a larger area with the 585. Too aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then hydrate and protect is our final step, or our final few steps. So we've got a product which will go on after we've, you know, so we've removed all the gel, we've cooled the skin down if you feel that you need to, just with a cold compress, and we're going to apply some light Soothe. So the light Soothe is actually a product that was formulated for post-tattoo removal, as I mentioned earlier. It comes in a 500ml professional size and also 50ml retail size. And this is a product which, regardless of whether you're doing Illumi or not, this is a great product to support your laser and IPL treatments. Use this instead of aloe vera after your treatment, immediately post laser and IPL, and then retail one of these for the customer to go home with because it reduces redness. It cools down and soothes any irritation in the skin. It's really soothing. it will help the skin to heal quicker. So it will reduce any chances of any adverse reaction post-treatment. It's antibacterial and it's moisturizing as well. So as a general product to have in the clinic, it's a brilliant product to have. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're doing, you know, non-laser or IPL treatments, this is a really good product to have on your back bar, which is, you know, is just cooling, soothing treatment. If you do something you think, I'm now looking a little bit red after that treatment, pop this on for 5 minutes and it will take it all away. So it's got some beautiful ingredients in, like manuka honey, triclosan. It's got panthenol in, so it's really designed to be super healing, soothing, calming. And the way that we use it in the illumiFacial treatment is we actually apply it as a face mask. So it can go on the skin a little bit thicker than you would usually obviously apply it when you're just planning to leave it on the skin. But apply it on a little bit thicker like you would any normal face mask and leave that on the skin for about 10 minutes. A really nice opportunity to then do something for your client, whether that be, you know, hand massage, neck and shoulder massage. You know, if you have a operator who is skilled in those treatments, I think it's a really nice way to finish a treatment, because it sort of moves the treatment into a very relaxing, calming, sort of more back towards the facial side of things, which is really nice for the client to have. And then you will find that after that 5 or 10 minutes, most of the light soothe has been absorbed. If not, you can just use a little spatula, or, you know, just work that into the skin a little bit, just to make sure that you've not got any sort of too much residue left on the skin surface. And then you'll apply the activated stem cell serum. So the stem cell serum is all about dermal regeneration. So our stem cell serum is plant-based stem cells, and they're delivered through an activated oxygen delivery system. And what essentially they do is they actually help with cell metabolism. So they help your cells work more effectively. They increase the proliferation of dermal fibroblasts. So those are the cells which produce collagen and elastin. So this is very much a sort of preventative aging serum, which is designed to, you know, has lots of antioxidants in, so designed to help with things like sun damage, photo damage in the skin. And this is a product which retails really well. So once you apply this in the treatment, you will find that this is a product that is really quite easy to retail as well after the treatment. And then last but certainly not least, we of course finish with an SPF. And I guess the first thing I would say about this SPF is it's incredibly cost effective, because we also do, I don't have one here today, but we do the SPF in a 500ml size. Now, if you work out what you pay for that, and I can send everyone a price list for the skincare after this so you can see what the costs are, but if you work out what you pay for that versus like almost all the competitors on the marketplace, it is extremely cost effective. Like, it's quite rare to get an SPF for back bar that's a 500ml. The price of this, it's really, really cost effective for you to use in the clinic. And it's a beautiful product to use post laser and IPL as well. But we also do it in the 50ml retail size for customers to use at home. So we recommend this as a daily SPF. Now, it's an SPF 50. A lot of people will think, oh, I don't really want to use a 50 every day, because the words SPF 50, to me, in my mind, being an avid skincare user for many, many years, strikes up feelings of gloopy, greasy, heavy, irritating, chalky white, silvery residue. That is commonplace when you get to an SPF 50. Okay, because of typically the amount of chemical or physical blockers you would need to put in there to get it to the 50. But that is absolutely 100% not the case with this Linton Light Protect. It is non-irritating, and I'll explain why it's non-irritating in a second, but you can put this on every single day. It doesn't give you that kind of sting and that burn that you can sometimes get from using a sunscreen. It's incredibly easy to apply. It's really lovely formulation. It's not greasy at all, so it's a brilliant primer for your makeup. Your makeup goes on really well. You do not feel any stickiness or residue or greasiness when you apply this at all. It just literally soaks into the skin incredibly easily. And there's no chalky white residue. So just put some on my hand there. There's no chalky white residue at all from it. And that's because it's a very unique blend of chemical and physical sunscreen. So it is UVA and UVB, I should say, and it is 5-star Boots rated as well. So it is a very, very good sunscreen. But in addition to that, it's a beautiful product to use every day. And it's because we've got a really nice cocktail of both chemical and physical sunscreens. So just take a moment to go through the difference between a chemical and a physical sunscreen. So a physical sunscreen works like little mirrors that sit on the surface of the skin and bounce the light off. Okay, so this is often zinc oxide, titanium dioxide. You can see them there. They sit on the surface of the skin. The UV light hits them and bounces back off. So they're very reflective particles. This is when you see the cricketers, you know, with the white noses. This is your physical sunscreen. Usually quite a chalky, white, silvery kind of residue it leaves in a product. So, you know, obviously you don't really want to wear a factor 50 that's full physical sunscreen, because that's not going to be nice to use every day. Chemical sunscreen, when you're using chemical sunscreen, the interaction is different. So the product will soak into the skin, and what happens is, as the light actually hits the product or the molecules within the SPF, changes from light energy into heat energy. So it kind of absorbs and uses up the UV light by turning that energy into heat energy, and that then disperses through the tissue. Now, at a factor 50, that can be a bit irritating. So we have got a really nice blend of both chemical and physical sunscreens in some really nice, like, molecular packaging. So the way that they've actually been packaged in these micro capsules within the product just mean that you get the best of both worlds, and you do not have any of the drawbacks of using typically just one or the other. So there's a real cocktail of different SPFs within here. And the two major advantages are it's not irritating, it's not chalky. And this is particularly good for people who have greasy skins, who have acne skins, who have also darker skins. So if you get a skin type 4, 5 and 6, if there's any physical SPF in the product, often that can look really quite silvery on a darker skin. So we find that this is particularly popular when with our darker skinned customers, so our 4s, 5 and 6s. And of course it has things like antioxidants in as well, so the vitamin E, it's got some hydrators in, so it's a lovely product to use every day.
Just got some comments on the products here from people who are using them. So Janice says that she wears it daily and she loves it. It's becoming our #1 seller in the clinic, which is nice to hear. She also mentions about Light Soothe. She says it's a very beautiful product. We retail this for all of our aesthetic clients. They love it as it's so calming. I've also had 2 clients who both had reactions not to treatment. One was to a perfume that a student had given them. The other was a stress reaction. And the Light Soothe was excellent in calming down both of these reactions. So, you know, not just for aesthetic treatments, as we see, I guess, with the NHS, with the nurses who are using it to soothe their chapped hands. And
yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of feedback like that, haven't we, from our customers who said that they've put it on various different skin ailments, and you know, we're not selling it as an eczema product or anything like that. You know, we are selling it strictly for what it is for, but certainly the anecdotal feedback from our customers on the field is that anything red, irritated and sore, it's having a very nice effect on.
And also another question from someone saying, how can we order these products if we're not Linton customers?
So what I'll do is, after this webinar, I will send everybody an email, so you should have my email. And so you can reply to that if you'd like to order anything. I will send you, after this webinar, a full price list so that you can see all the prices. You can usually just order from our website, but just because of the situation at the moment, it's actually easier for us to manage our orders if you email us. So if you would like to order anything, we can still supply skincare. The email address is just info@linton.co.uk. That's info@linton.co.uk. So just, reply to my email or drop us a line on that and we'll be able to get you a price list, and if you'd like to order anything, you can.
Hayley, can we add to that the price for the circular light guides? Because Amy says she wants one.
Yes, will do. Yeah. For those of you that are Linton customers that are out there and are not using one of these circular light guides, you've got to get one. They're absolutely fantastic. So they're just...
And are we still doing the 20% offer on those, Hayley? You happy with that?
Yes.
Go on.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, we'll do 20% off light guides in lockdown. So, I mean, certainly, if you've got a Linton IPL and you've not got a Illumi, then I would highly advise investing in it, because it will certainly help you sell your IPL treatments really effectively, and it's a low investment. So this is an illumiFacial product pack. So you've got large size, you've got professional sizes of all the products apart from the stem cell, in which you get 6 bottles of the stem cell. We don't have it in a pro size yet, but may well do in the future. And that comes in at like just shy of £450 or something like that, all in, plus the VAT. So it's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? For that investment, you only need to sell one person a course and happy days. And you can certainly, you will find marketing this treatment really easy to do. Any other questions, Sam? We
have a few. Okay, so let's answer this one about training, I guess. So what training is required in order to do this? Perhaps do you want me to answer that one?
Yeah.
If you already use a Linton IPL system, then of course you'll be familiar with doing these facial treatments. Doing the peel is actually very straightforward. So we do have quite detailed guidance that we can issue to you, and we've got some videos that you can watch. But we also do free of charge training for this up in our clinic on the clinical update training days. So if you want to come along to any of those, again, just drop us an email to clinical@linton.co.uk. We run those regularly, monthly, once the clinic and the training academy is open again. So you'd be welcome to join us on those. Settings, I get some people asking questions about the settings with the 585. Do you use the vascular, the pigment, or the rejuvenation settings? Well, really, I guess it doesn't matter. The rejuvenation settings are slightly lower. So if you're doing a full face treatment, we would say use rejuvenation. If you're doing spot treatments on pigment or vascular, you can use those settings.
Sorry, I'm just reading through a couple of the comments as well. I've got some before and after pictures here actually from our users, and I know that we've got Andrea in the audience as well, who's produced one of these. And so Andrea, if you're available to join us on the chat briefly, then just say hello and let us know you're in the chat box. And if so, I'll promote you to a panelist so you can jump in and have a conversation with us about this customer that you treated.
She's here, she says.
Yeah, okay, great. Won't be a second, right? So I'm going to introduce you everybody to Andrea Davies, who runs a lovely clinic called Clinic 10, and she uses the illumiFacial. So, and this result is one that she just posted on Instagram, and I wanted her to just give you a bit of an overview, really, as to what the client thought about the results and why she decided to do this treatment on them. Hello.
Hi. I think you're muted, Andrea. You might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, so you just need to, there should be a little audio button somewhere.
Sorted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, I'm good.
Good. So yeah,
brilliant
this is
webinar as usual, by the way.
Oh, thank you. This is a brilliant result as well. So Who is this? Someone that you'd been treating for other things? Was it a brand new customer?
So this lady, she started, she's been a customer of mine now for probably about 18 months. She hadn't really been having any skincare, regular treatments at all, and was looking for some basic health, skin health. So we started with a consultation, you know, regarding what she wanted. It was clear to me, it was very apparent that she had a lot of sun damage and we could improve that, but we didn't go in with that to start with. So initially we started doing a few skin health type treatments. We did a little bit of the Promax radio frequencies. So we were getting an improvement. But to me, the main concern that she was having was, you know, around the uneven tone. There was some dehydration, some premature aging going on. She's probably, I think she's 50, 51. So you can see it's a massive improvement. So we built up to the Illumi because there is a level, it's a much higher end treatment, as you know, and there also is the level of discomfort that sometimes, you know, it's good to prepare clients to be ready for that more advanced treatment.
And Andrea, did you do a full face 585 or did you spot treat with the 585?
So with this particular lady, what we did, I did full face. I started on the smaller lesions to start off with, and then we went full face after.
So you removed the sort of more obvious pigment first of all, and then went and did.
Yes, yeah. Because I'd say she hasn't got the highest pain threshold. As some clients, they just like soldier through it. You wouldn't know anything was going on. She probably is more sensitive. So we started off with just focusing on, as you can see, there are quite a lot of larger pigmentations on there. So we focused on that. There's some capillaries that you can't see on that as well. So we focused on them, and then I did moved on to the slightly larger block to do full face, and we got a great result. This is one session. So
one session. It's amazing.
One session. Yeah, one session. I am quite. I've been doing a lot of these now, so I'm. You know, I think you kind of get more confident the more you do these treatments. I wouldn't say be frightened of them, but clearly be cautious with them. So we've done 650 with her as well. Since we've also gone on to do some fractional with her as well. The skin is fabulous at the moment.
It looks great. It looks fantastic there.
Yeah. So we did the full Illumi. So it was, she's a regular, she probably comes in twice a month. She's a customer. And we mix up between the, doing something maybe quite sort of generic. So I do other treatments as well, but we always put something more advanced in. So it'll be an Illumi, it'll be a radio frequency from the Linton side anyway. There's other things as well, but from Linton's side. And her skin is great.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, Andrea. That's brilliant.
No problem. Thanks for asking me to.
No worries. Keep popping your good pictures on Instagram as well. We love seeing them.
I'm happy for you to use these. I've got some others as well, which I sent to Hayley.
I know I didn't have time to get them ready in time, but they look fantastic.
Yeah, so there are some others. But the only thing I would say to everyone on there is when you're using the peel with it, if the client has some sensitivity with the Trifruit acid peel, like you said before, just err on the side of caution, because you won't. What I tend to like to do is do maybe one treatment with that alone. So say, for example, if the client, you're unsure, I'll get them to do them one really advanced facial with the Trifruit acid peel. If they get any reaction, I'll know it's to that. Then if we do one treatment with the Illumi or a full face, just 585 or 650, and we don't get a reaction with that, then you know you kind of know then that the client's going to be absolutely fine. Do a bit more of a skin journey sometimes as well for them then. So if a client reacted to, say, the Trifruit acid peel, which is unlikely, but it may happen, at least I'll know it was that and not the 585, so we can talk the suit then.
I think the only time that we've come across a reaction is someone who's using retinol on their skin.
Yeah, and clients, you know, as a rule, are quite honest, but there are some that just aren't. They'll just say, "Oh no, I'm fine," you know, because
and we're talking about very, very superficial grazing that's gone within a few days. It's nothing, you know, haven't had any.
Oh, absolutely. It's nothing major at all. It's just that sometimes clients are using products, they don't realise how strong they are. So at home. So that's the only time, but it's only if they've got, you know, if I'm looking at their skin and thinking there could be a little bit of sensitivity, I'll err on the side of caution then. But otherwise, the two can work brilliantly, really, really brilliantly, as you can see.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.
Brilliant.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
We've got some other questions here. So Abigail James has asked, how my clients now have tan on their skin. How do I manage that with IPL and illumiFacial?
Yeah, so they do need to wait 4 weeks after they have had sun exposure, because obviously the reason that this treatment is so effective for colour damage is that pigment absorbs our IPL incredibly well. So they won't be able to have a treatment if they've got a suntan. They will need to wait 4 weeks. But you could, as someone mentioned earlier, I think, do the treatment without the IPL in. Yeah, so offer them Illumi, but just not do the IPL portion of it. I think, Abigail, you have radio frequency. So you could, you know, sort of do peel RF during the summer months.
Somebody else with a 3G has asked, could it be used in combination with the other handpieces? So I guess you wouldn't do a peel and a resurface treatment, a fractional treatment. But what do you think about a peel and a radio frequency?
Well, I think that you can. Get a lot of combination out of it. And that's the beauty of the 3G, that you can multi-layer and interact and combine all of these treatments. There's no problem whatsoever doing peel and then radio frequency. And so, yeah, I think it really just depends on the skin. If you're an experienced operator and you're looking at someone who you feel needs a more advanced combination of treatment, with a 3G, with a Linton IPL, just drop us a line and give us, you know, let us see what and hear what you're thinking about doing, and we can give you some advice from there. It's really hard to just make like a blanket rule on something, because I think with, you know, an experienced operator, then you can start to look at tailoring and flexing and combining your treatments more.
And as Andrea mentioned, you know, you can always do these treatments on different days if you want to. You don't have to do them all on the same day. If you're combining it with things like, I've had a few questions about fractional lasers and needling, for example. What else do we have here? Can the peel be used by people at home?
No, so the peel is the only one that is professional only, so you can't use it at home unless you're me. You're on lockdown with one. And then you can.
Someone else has asked, I sell environmentally friendly, chemical free vegan products. How do Lintons compare?
Yeah, well, they're not vegan because there is some manuka honey in some of them.
So in the Light Soothe and Light Protect,
Light Soothe and Light Protect,
honey, but the rest are all vegan friendly and all cruelty free, obviously.
Environmentally friendly, I don't think we could claim that at this point. We'd have to have a look, wouldn't we, and speak to our formulator and have a look at those processes.
Yeah, I'll speak to Bruce about that.
Yeah. Someone also asked about, do we advise people seek medical advice before treatment? I think this is an important point. Yeah, definitely. If you are looking at pigment and it isn't, you are not sure whether it is sun damage or freckle, don't treat it. You know, get some medical advice first, send them off to the doctor. You know, so for example, with this particular customer, what you can see is that we had the client see a dermatologist prior to treatment to ensure that the pigment was actually safe to treat, because that's quite extensive pigment damage, isn't it? So we did make sure that they were all okay to treat before treating, and we'd highly advise that everyone does that as well. Make sure they get things checked out before going ahead with treatment. This is another clinic who's received a fantastic result, the Cosmetic Clinic Pool. This is someone who's only had 2 illumiFacial treatments with the peel and the IPL, and an amazing result. there, and also this one from the little laser clinic. So again, this was someone who, I'm not sure if it mentions how many treatments, results from 1 illumiFacial, this one as well. So a really beautiful result there. So if you're out there and you're taking illumi pictures, we need some more. Please send us some more. So if you have them, then don't forget to, if you pop them on Instagram, hashtag we use Linton. We'd love to share and celebrate your successes in our marketing as well. Another one here. So this is somebody who, again, has got quite a lot of pigment damage, and again, lovely improvement.
You have a question about pricing for the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
What do we suggest?
$199. So it varies a lot across the UK, but typically £199 per session is what we would recommend for illumi. So I think we'll draw to a close there. I would like to ask any Linton customers to stay on the line. I'll end the webinar in a moment, but if you're a Linton customer and you're free to have a little cup of tea and a chat with us, I'm quite interested to hear what other webinars you are interested in us doing. So if you're a Linton customer, please stay around. If you've got time, just have a quick 15-minute catch up with us. For those of you that are not and would like to become one, then we do a range of different devices that offer the illumiFacial. Some of them just do IPL, some of them do IPL and laser, tattoo removal, fractional resurfacing. So we've got some really lovely products that offer a combination of different treatments, hair removal, of course, as well. So
Sangeeta here has specifically asked about radio frequency. So that 3Juve system there combines an IPL with radio frequency and fractional laser treatment.
Yeah. So I've got
and we do other radio frequency equipment. Yeah.
Got my little 3Juve with me on lockdown. It's amazing. So yeah, you've got radio frequency, erbium fractional skin resurfacing, and Linton IPL with dynamic reflex as well. Please do tune into any of our other webinars. We'll be running webinars pretty much weekly now for the foreseeable future. You can sign up to them just by going to linton.co.uk webinars, and you can also view any of our previous webinars if you'd like to. I'll send you a little link after this session that will just direct you to where to find our previous webinars, so you can watch those as well. And just a quick mention to the fact that next week we are running a virtual masterclass. This is a hair removal masterclass with laser and IPL. It's taught by Dr. Sam Hills, our PhD physicist, clinical director at Lynton. It's a very in-depth full-day course on hair removal. So it's a brilliant course if you're thinking about introducing a hair removal device, because it's not Linton biased. We're going to talk about all the different types of technology that are available on the marketplace. We're going to talk through the pros and cons of them, give you a really good idea so you can make an educated decision about what might be a good piece of equipment for you. And in addition to that, we just go through all of the science behind laser and IPL hair removal and have really in-depth clinical discussions about the treatment application as well. And I'll have a couple of products with me in the afternoon to do some live demonstrations of laser and IPL hair removal also.
We've also got Core of Knowledge next week if anyone needs to redo their Core of Knowledge, or for people who are looking at, we get lots of questions about, what qualifications do I need in order to do these treatments? Or again, there's a webinar on this if you go have a look at some of our previous webinars. But essentially, the training, there are no regulations with regards to what training you need, but lots of insurers will want to see that you have a Core of Knowledge certificate, that you've attended a Core of Knowledge course. So yeah, just drop us a line if you've got any training questions, clinical at Linton or info@linton.co.uk, and they'll get to us.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks everybody for joining us. I'm going to just stop share here now. That brings us to the end of our